This is about conviction. This is where the magnetism comes from. You embodying your genius. Welcome to the Real on Manifestation podcast. This podcast bridges the gap between mystical and practical, making manifestation real, accessible, and achievable so you are an embodied energetic match to actualize everything you desire. I'm Minerva, your manifestation coach and host, and I've manifested every single thing I have ever wanted, from dream homes, new levels of income, trips, clients, businesses, TV gigs, relationships, as well as winning jackpots and contests. But it's not about the tangible manifestations for me. It's about how you feel and who you be on the way to there. With 3 businesses, 2 kids, and marriage to my childhood sweetheart, one of my proudest manifestations is feeling balanced, spacious, and free in my ever-expanding reality. Creating and maintaining your dream life doesn't have to take force, but ease, and I'm excited to guide you through yours. In this space, you'll receive expert insights and proven tools and strategies you can apply immediately to start manifesting everything you ever want. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The Real on Manifestation. This week, we're going to go into how to deepen your genius. How to deepen your genius. What is your genius? Why is it important to identify and work in your genius? And 3 steps to deepen into this. So, what is your genius? Maybe you know, maybe you have an inkling about it. Maybe you don't know at all, but I'll say this to help you identify it or even just deepen into your genius. Your genius is what comes easiest to you, what lights you up. It's so simple, you think everyone else has it or does it, but they don't. And if they do, they don't do it like you. It's also the area that really lights you up and you just expand, you shine. You can do it and lose track of time. So it's easy, it's effortless, it's timeless, it's you. So your zone of genius is something that no one else could do the way you do. And it should be so simple because I find the more simple it is, the more you feel light in it, it's easy for you to do, and you're able to serve because it's so easy. For me, my zone of genius is I can tune in to the energetic block and help you transform it, alchemize it. I know exactly what's in or out of vibrational alignment. And for a long time, I thought other people do that. And I had a coach say to me, I can't do that. And I know other people who may do something like that, but they don't do it the way you do. And I didn't credit it as anything important because it came so easy. It's something I do every day, something I can do in a conversation with my husband, with a friend, with anyone I'm sitting across talking to. So, what is your zone of genius? It's what comes so easily to you. It lights you up. You can do for hours. You can lose yourself in it. And this is a thing that is actually going to transform and shift people's lives. Abraham Hicks says, your zone of genius is just an area of focus. Now you can focus on any area, but in the book, Your Next Big Leap, he talks about the different zones of incompetence, competence, good, excellence, and genius. And so this is not about doing just what you're good at or what you're capable of doing, right? It goes further into that, into something that you were put on this earth to do. It's this gift, it's this skill, it's this quality and trait within you that when you're in that zone, as I mentioned, it just flows. And you are just yourself, and it's light, it's easy, you feel expansive, and this is what expands other people. Okay. So identify your zone of genius. And if you know it already, use this as a reminder of you're on the right track and go deeper into that and trust that and lead with that. Why is it important to work in your zone of genius? For many reasons. I'll list them now. There's just a lot coming to my mind. So, working in your zone of genius, what that does is number one, it it just comes so easily. It's in you and it has to come out of you, right? It's like this present that is sitting there that's left unopened, right? So, this is a gift given to you for you to give to others. Okay. So, when you're operating in this space, this is what's going to help other people. This is what's going to help you fulfill your mission, change people's lives. It's going to be fun for you as well. It's going to expand you. It's going to be where you become you, even more you, the truth of you, the authentic you. And from that energy and from that space, coming from this expansive place, because this expands you. You can do for hours. You can sit there. Like I can have this conversation when I'm even just on the podcast, but also when I run my networking events or when I'm teaching a masterclass, when I'm coaching a client, when I'm in that space, it almost like it flows out of you that you don't even have control of it. You're like, where did that even come from? I call that the God frequency within you, the God gift within you. And when you express that, it just has its energy and pull and life of its own. So it's a gift within you meant to give out, meant to give to others. It's fulfilling for you. It's fulfilling and life-changing for others. And what comes back as well, I think it's just more than you can ever imagine. And it's not just about you getting, but it's that cycle, right? It's you living out this expansive life and helping other people live out this expansive life. And that's what I believe we're here to do. We're here to love, we're here to serve, we're here to experience love and joy. And that comes from living in our genius. And that could be your everyday. To me, that's the secret to living every day as a vacation. And that's what I love to do. That's one of the things is when you're living and working in your genius, it doesn't even feel like work, but you're living and leading from your genius. And so if you can make a business from your genius, which I help my clients do, you are living like this abundant life and not just financially, but energetically, emotionally, mentally. And this is what you're exuding. This is what you're putting out and what will come from that. Endless possibilities. So this is why it's important. So now let's go into 3 steps to deepen into your genius. Number 1 is just do it. Whether you just identified your genius or you've been dabbling in it or you've been living in it, you've been leading from there, you just have to go out and do, no matter where you are, even if you've forgotten about it. I think we all need reminders because the more you do it, the stronger you become in it and you become more integrated and embodied in it. But no matter where you are on the path, the next step, the next thing you do, come from your genius and just do it. And it's not a matter of, I don't have enough experience. I don't have the certification. This can't be taught. This is just you being you and trusting you. And the more you do it, the more you strengthen that capability in you, that skill, that strength in you. The more you trust yourself, the more you build confidence in it. The more you start seeing evidence of how it's tweaking people's lives, even if it's just a conversation, even if it's just a post, even if it's just an email, even if it's just a heart-to-heart conversation with someone, right? You just have to go out and do, especially when you're feeling self-conscious, especially when you're starting to doubt yourself, especially when you feel like your confidence is a little shaky. You need to just go out and do something in your genius. And that's just going to stir up a different energy and frequency, and you start building a new momentum. You just go out and do. I find like when I'm zoning in, I feel now more zoned in my genius more than ever. And the topics come so easily. I don't have to, like, yes, I put out notes, but I don't have to rehearse or practice or think of anything because I'm not coming from my head. I'm coming from my genius. And that came from doing it even when I wasn't even sure if, am I in my zone of genius? Am I really good at this? And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do what just comes easy and effortless to me. What is like, it's not rocket science to me. And that's talking around energy and frequency and tweaking that for people and knowing exactly what went wrong. And this is what, if you do this, this is the result you will get. And I started doing that by just doing that, I was like, oh, that felt good. And I started taking the evidence and started reviewing that. Oh, I see that. And I'm getting more evidence from my coaches, from clients, from even something not even related to my business. It's reflecting back to me. That's the zone I need to be in. That's where I need to be living. That's what I need to lead from. Right? So the more you do, the more you're going to build that strength and frequency and confidence in your genius. So whether you feel shaky around this, unsure, just do it and test it out. And you will get feedback. You'll be like, oh, this felt good. This didn't feel good. I can see how I can go deeper here. Oh, you become more embodied and grounded in it. Okay. So the first step is just do or keep doing what you're doing. And you become more effective and potent just by doing. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to do. Number 2 is when there is contrast. So something that's making you question yourself, this is an opportunity to build your genius, to embody your genius even more. I'll give you 2 examples. One is when my business had a dip a few years ago during COVID or whatever. I think everybody experienced some sort of, you know, wave of some sort. I had a peak in my business and then I had a dip. So I experienced both the highs and lows during COVID for my business. And so when I was at the dip, I was like, in that space of quote unquote bad, I had an opportunity and I leaned into my genius. And I'm really good at resting. I'm really good as a manifestor in human design. I create and I rest. I create and I rest. And it's in that rest and it's in that dip, I should say. I remember sitting on my couch being like, I just want to sit here and make money. Like, what is the easiest way? What is possible? And in my genius, I understand frequency. I understand energy. I understand manifestations could only flow. And the ideal manifestations only flow when the hose is unkinked, right? Not when I'm putting pressure on it or in fear frequency or in lack. And so I was in my genius unknowingly. And it's even though it was uncomfortable, I was still in my genius. And I tuned into that of what can I create? What would be easy? What would be fun? What would be abundant? And I tuned into that and I came into the idea of an Airbnb. So we transformed our garage that was not in use, a 400 square foot garage. You can go on my Instagram and see or even Google it, Airbnb Suite Escape, SUITE Escape Pickering. And we transformed that into a beautiful guest suite and a guest apartment that is separate and all of that. And that was just such a beautiful thing. And it's been successful. It's going really well. And I literally sit on the couch or wake up in the morning and get an application, not application, like a booking request. And that comes in. So that came from my genius. That came from contrast. Another one is like I've seen so many manifestation coaches out there and manifestation coaches in my world as well, and people that I know. And there are moments where, it rubbed up against my ego of like, why are they hiring those coaches and not me? Right. Like just an ego part and real part of me that comes up sometimes. And in those opportunities, in those dips, in those lows, when I wasn't feeling my best self, what that did was call forth in me to embody my genius even more. And when I stepped into that even more of what is my genius? What is my uniqueness? What do I do different that no one else can? That no one, even if there's so many energetic frequency talks out there, and I'm sure there's so many people that know about it, but no one does it the way I do it. And this was such an opportunity for me to deepen into my genius, into my gifts and my confidence and my worthiness, right? So in this contrast, in these dips, in these lows, when you have these moments where you're questioning yourself or you allow the outside to question you, I now use that as an opportunity and an indicator that, oh, I'm not in my genius. I'm not in my truth. And so when I'm in that space, it's a totally different point of view of other manifestation coaches and when people hire other people. It's not even a question anymore because I'm so integrated and grounded in my truth. So anytime contrast shows up, use that as an opportunity and an invitation for you to step further in your genius. And you will see that, oh, I'm not really being my genius. I'm not being in my truth. I'm not coming from my core here. And that's the opportunity for you to step into it and strengthen that even more. And that becomes so magnetic. When you do this embodiment of your genius, that's what owning it is. This is about conviction. This is where the magnetism comes from. You embodying your genius. This is where magnetism comes from. It's not another self-study course or another certification or how many clients you have. You can have no clients and be in your genius. And the more you anchor and practice and trust and live in your genius, this is what is being put out. This is what people read and feel and see. And this is what makes them be attracted to you and come into your world for you to serve them and work with them. That's been my biggest lesson. And then number 3, be willing to be different, silly, or judged. Being in your genius is going to call you to be different. It's going to make you feel different and silly. It's going to make you be afraid that you're going to be judged. Now, the level of how much you care about that may differ per person. But one thing that I've learned is that one of the reasons I was resisting my genius is because how different it made me feel, how silly it seemed, how judged I might be around my family and peers and people that I've grown up with, right? Holistic, spiritual, energetic, manifest your goals. Oh, that's pretty woo woo, right? That's so different from, you know, become a teacher, open your own dance studio, even though dance studio is creative, but those were the things that I was told to do, or be a model, do something else that, you know, not that that's like dependable, but these were the messages was getting. So to go from, ultimately the biggest message was like, be a teacher, get something sustainable, finish university, get the job, yada, yada. We've all heard that, right? Finish university. It did not finish university. There's already one thing I was judged for to be a dancer, right? That was so different, not practical from, my world and my upbringing. And then going from the entertainment industry into transformational self-help personal development world, that's another level of that. Being an entrepreneur, right? And I was ruffling feathers. I was going against the grain. And with being an entrepreneur, with choosing something quote unquote impractical, unpredictable, and spiritual and energetic, right? So you have to be willing to be different. You have to be willing to look silly, to be judged. Even if you go and do that video or something you're putting off, you have to be willing to do that in order to become an authority, to become stronger and confident and known and magnetic in your genius. That's the only way. You can't tippy toe him and ha and be shy about it. I mean, you can be shy and do it, but I'm saying you can't hold yourself back in fear of judgment and fear of being mocked and criticized and fear of being seen, because then there's no way you're going to be stronger and show up as a genius and as a master in what you do and in your world. So you have to be willing, and it doesn't mean you're going to be judged and mocked and all of that. You just have to be willing and open to it and neutralize that and know that it's okay and know that it's coming from a space from other people who are not living in their genius, not living in their God frequency, not living in their God gifts that they were given, right? The only reason it will bother somebody else or be mocked or judged by someone else is only always judged from someone who is not living that and not seeing that and not being that for themselves. That's the only way, because you will never get that from someone who is living in their genius. So if you want to be taken more seriously, if you want clients to be attracted to you, if you want to come off more confidently, if you want to be more successful, if you want to be making a greater impact, if you want to be receiving a greater income, you need to live in your genius. You need to deepen into this and live in this every day. And it's enjoyable, it's fun. This is just what you're here to do. Okay. It makes everything better. Your programs, your offers, your website, working, marketing, your family life. What this does for you, what this does for other people, what this is putting out into the world, you are just showing up as you were always meant to be by practicing and living in your genius. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, those are my 3 tips. Just do it. Contrast is an opportunity to deepen into your genius. Be willing to be silly, different, or judged, and just be in your genius. And this is all the people who are successful and you consider a genius and master, they had to go through this. They were ridiculed, they were judged, someone said no, they were probably laughed at, they had rejection, they doubted themselves, but they kept going and they kept living in their genius. And that's what makes them what we consider people as geniuses and masters in their trade. So I hope this served you. Thank you so much for listening. And a reminder that if you would love more of this support and go deeper into this and start living out your God frequency, I invite you to take a look at the Super Being Mastermind. We start in August, but until July 23rd, you get the first month free. This is my high level group coaching program where we deepen into your God frequency and all levels of your being and bring you into alignment so that your dreams, your visions is not only possible, but it's inevitable. So I hope to see you there. We'll leave the details below. See you next time.